Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anne-Sophie and today I'd like to chat to you a little bit about my spring knitting plans. This is my first video, I think, where I talk about knitting plans, so I thought it would be nice to start with a little bit of an introduction of how I plan on structuring my little chat with you here today. So, as per usual, I'm going to start by talking to you about what I'm wearing today, and then I am going to go into my plans, which I have sorted into specific categories. So last year when I was planning my spring and summer knits, I kind of bunched them together, but I realized that I knitted a few summer tops and tees which I can't wear as often as I wear my sweaters because Belgium isn't really the warmest country there is. So this year I decided to really split up spring and summer and try and knit sweaters during spring as well. It can get quite chilly here, especially in March and April. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try that out and then see how it works and whether I'm happier with that. Lilla, nee, kom hier. And see whether I'm happier with that arrangement or not. So the categories I divided my knitting plans into is first a set of spring sweaters that I want to knit. And I'm beginning with the things I really want to knit the most because this list is extensive and I will in no way be able to knit up all of these things, but I like to have options, you know, who doesn't? Okay, so I'm starting with those spring sweater ideas or things that I would really like to knit, to then go into a bit more of a tea situation. And then the next category will be summer tops that I plan to knit because I am contemplating starting summer tops in the spring. And then in the summer, I can wear them. Because last year I started knitting summer tops in the summer mostly, and I had like 1 month left to wear them, like in September or something, which kind of bummed me out, you know? So I have some summer top plans ready that I might delve into already by like the end of spring. I'm thinking May, June. And then I have another category which is just fully what am I calling it? I think I'm calling it season non-conforming because they're actually like things I would wear in winter and fall, but I'm really excited about knitting and I have the yarn in my stash. So I don't know. I'm an unpredictable person and I am predicting that I might go crazy and actually knit some non-spring garments just because I feel like it. So I'm accounting for those at the end of the video, just for the purpose of being complete and stuff. Alright, what I'm wearing today is my Robinson wrap cardigan. This was the first thing I finished in 2023 and is to date my prettiest knit. I love this thing so much. I think it's gorgeous. The knitting for olive, merino, and soft silk mohair combination is just scrumptious and I couldn't have picked a better colorway. This is the ice blue colorway and I just adore it. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you might know that this sweater kind of shrunk a little bit because I had to wash it multiple times to attempt to get rid of an ugly stain on the back. It's a varnish stain. I haven't been successful, and I can't really wear it anymore because it's a really big stain. So I thought, you know what? You guys are not going to see my back. I'm just filming my front. So perfect opportunity to wear it. And maybe this is going to help me get motivated to frog it and reknit this because I don't know, I've been toying with the idea of dyeing it, but I really don't want to dye it. I think if I end up dyeing it, I can see myself buying the ice blue yarn again and reknitting this. And I have like 75% of both the merino and the mohair ball left over. So I can replace the yarn that will be lost. I'll have to do a lot of spit splicing and stuff, but I don't know, I think it will be worthwhile to reknit this guy. So this is me manifesting that future Anne-Sophie will think, oh my god, it's so pretty. Please let me perform sweater surgery on this guy. Yeah, there you go. So, as I said, I'm going to start by talking about some, well, spring sweater ideas. Now, the thing is, I don't exactly know what makes these sweaters spring, because the first one is made with a fingering with a mohair held double. So you could think, oh, Sophie, what were you thinking? But wait till you see the rest, okay? You'll be following my thought process. I'm certain of it. What I want to make is, well, I mostly want to use this hand-dyed yarn that I bought. This is by Wool met Verve by Sylvia. It's just a beautiful, natural, I think an undyed white with blackish, grayish speckles. My friend Yasmin bought this guy as well, but in a different quality, and has knit up the arrow sweater, which is beautiful. And I just got so excited after seeing that, and I really wanted to cast something on with this yarn that we bought immediately. The quality I bought is the basic sock, so it's a 75% superwash virgin wool with 25% biodegradable nylon, and it's a fingering weight, so for 100 grams you get 420 meters. I consider this a very light fingering weight, and I can see this on Yasmin's sweater as well, which she knit up with one strand of mohair. So at first, I really wanted to knit the novemberknits JOO sweater with this, but I only have 2 skeins. So I did buy 4 balls of filcolana tilia to hold with it in the raw vide natural colorway, which I think looks quite, it fits more nicely in real life than it looks on camera. I think it matches perfectly. But then I realized, the JOO sweater does call for 300 grams of fingering weight yarn, which I don't have, and I was thinking, I can knit like a size smaller and not have any positive ease because it does call for some, I think like 10 to 15 centimeters of positive ease. But the sleeves are trumpet sleeves, and that eats up a lot of yarn. So I didn't want to like knit it and then lose yarn chicken and not have any yarn to fix this. So I changed my mind. And I changed my mind rather quickly because, Taylor Swift is coming out with a new album, The Tortured Poets Department. And if you don't know, she always attaches like a vibe or an aesthetic to her albums, and she calls that an era. And this one, it's all like white and gray and very depressing, but this fits in perfectly with that aesthetic. And I'm going to New York City at the time when the album is going to be released. So, I want to wear it when I'm going to New York City. And I thought I need something that knits up quickly, knits up easily, and fits in with the vibe of the new album, So what did I do? I bought another 4 balls of this filcolana tilia, and I'm going to be holding this 3-stranded to make my favorite things knitwear's sweater number 14 v-neck. I made a little swatch, and this swatch just further solidified my idea that this is the way to go for this yarn because I'm not a high contrast girly. I don't like when things are very contrasty, and with this yarn held with one strand of merino, you do get like a lot of black speckles. Whereas this is knit up at I think it's a 6mm gauge, but I hit gauge with 5.5mm needles rather because I'm a loose knitter. But see, you know, it's like faded out a little bit. It's a bit grayish. It's just completely what I like. So I know a lot of people will disagree with me on this. I'm quite sure they will because like a lot of the contrast gets lost, you know, but that's the thing I want. And I know 2 strands of mohair aren't very springy, but this sweater is going to be so oversized and cozy. The problem with this guy though is that my Favorite Things knitwear has 3 sizes for this sweater, and they're all really, really big. So I'm going to be knitting the first size, which is going to have like, I think still 30 centimeters of positive ease on me with a 90 centimeter bust. So it's not size inclusive in either direction. So if you're like really, really tiny and petite and you want a bigger size, or you want a smaller size, you're not really going to get that. So that's unfortunate, but it's beautiful. And I'm so hyped. So I think this is going to be the first thing I cast on so that I can take it with me to New York to wear as like I'm gonna wear it as outerwear, I think. And that's how I'm like legitimizing for myself that this can be a spring knit. Yeah, that's my first plan. Next one is also a sweater. I'm planning to knit the sandnesgarn Franky Genser, so Franky sweater, which is part of the Dame booklet. So they come out with a booklet every so often with like a little theme, and I own the one that is called Soft for Women. So the Franky Genser is part of that, and they advise you to knit it up with either kos or kos, I don't know how it's pronounced, I don't speak Norwegian, or with the brushed alpaca yarn quality. And you know, I picked kos because it's a blown yarn, and it contains 62% baby alpaca, 9% wool, and then 29% nylon, which is essentially just the blown thingy, right? I think you might be able to see the nylon a tiny bit if I focus it up like this. Like the little white speckle stuff, that's like the blown cord through which, or the cord through which they blow the yarn. But so it's very fluffy and airy. I knit up a swatch, and it's off gauge, but I'm gonna knit it off gauge. I don't think this one is as size inclusive either, and again, very oversized sweaters. But you know, that's what I'm trying to go for spring. I want oversized, I want airy, I want fluffy, because I love wearing my levitate wrap, for example, in summer and in spring here in Belgium. And I'm hoping this is going to give me the same vibe, because my levitate wrap is knit with the isager Eco Soft, which is a blown alpaca yarn. I think it has some cotton though, so it might be a little more airy than this guy. But I don't know, it's looking cute. I didn't know what color to choose, and I want to thank those of you who follow me on Instagram and responded to my little poll, because I hate choosing. I have terrible choice paralysis, and I didn't know whether I wanted a natural Franky sweater, a blue one, or a pink one. So I posted like a little poll where it's like, okay, do I go natural, do I go pink, or do I do blue? And then I had 2 colors for every option, and then pink and blue beat the natural, so then I made a new one. Do I do light pink, light blue, dark blue? And dark pink won, and I'm very happy. Like the second this guy arrived, I just thought, oh my god, it's so pretty. It's so springy too. Like, I'm gonna try and like collect all of my yarns at the end of this video to show me like my spring summer palette, and I hope you'll kind of be able to see that it all like fits together quite nicely because I'm so hyped about that. Um, but so that's one of the things I really want to cast on as well because I've been wanting to knit it for like a year and a half. I've had the booklet for so long. Now's the time to do it. And that's actually the sweater part. So I'm only knitting 2 sweaters. I think I can justify them being spring knits. We'll see, you know? I might be wrong. I might be right. My next knit that I really want to make is something I've been talking about for a while on my channel, and that is the MAREN TEE by morecaknit. And this is knit up with either a strand of merino held with a mohair or with a bouclé. So she has an example of this sweater. It's knit with, oh, this guy is knit with 4.5mm needles, by the way. This is knit with 4.5mm needles as well, and my first gauge swatch was off gauge. So it was very loose and see-through, so I made a new one with 4mm needles, and I'm thinking this looks absolutely perfect. It's not, I mean, it's sufficiently opaque, but not too opaque, so I can wear it as like a top. Because, you know, it is a polo. It's oversized, but it is a polo, so I don't want to wear this like over a t-shirt. So that's why I was worried with the white being very see-through. I need the little bit of opacity to feel secure and like be able to wear this to work. She has on her sample with this yarn like these semi see-through white tiny buttons, and I bought ones similar to that, and I think it's going to look absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to cast this on. The isager bouclé is very soft, I think, too, or I find, for a bouclé. I don't experience it to be scratchy or like to lose too many fibers, even though it's like 100% alpaca. My next plan in this category is my Eras Tour outfit. I was lucky enough to get tickets to see Taylor Swift, her Eras Tour show this summer. And, you know, Swifties dress up when they go to the tour. It's not just Swifties, like Beyonce fans do it. I dressed up to see Harry Styles. It's fun. It's awesome. And I'm going with my best friend to Amsterdam. She is called Annelien. She also has a YouTube channel where she crochets. So for the Midnights album, Taylor Swift did this photo shoot, and Midnights is like very 50s kind of themed. So this photo shoot had like a lot of 50s-ish fashion. And one of those items that she's wearing is a orange and white crochet top. So we found a pattern for that, and we're like, whoa, Annalene, why don't you crochet that top? It's going to be so cute, and you can like emulate that outfit. And then I can find something to knit. And within that same photo shoot, Taylor wears this light blue polo top. It's beautiful. I think this is a kind of top that I would be wearing all the time if I knit it, and not just for the Eras Tour, which is, if I'm going to be spending so much time on knitting a garment, I don't want it to be like a one-off item that I wear once or something. But so I immediately was fond of this idea, and I'm going to knit that. There really wasn't any pattern that I could find that fit the criteria perfectly or that looked exactly like Taylor's polo on these pictures. And so what I decided to do is I found the Birkin Polo pattern. I don't remember exactly who it's by, I'm sorry, but I'll put the name up somewhere around here. And this is a 2x2 rib polo with a lot of negative ease knit on 3mm needles. The recommended yarn is gepard cotton wool 3 organic, and I bought this guy. They had 2 light blues, none of which really were a perfect match with Taylor's top, or at least the color that it seems to have on these pictures, which is more like this, like the ice blue. But so there were two, and again, I made my Instagram followers decide which one to pick, and people almost unanimously voted for the slightly darker one, so this one. I think it's going to be a very good match. It's coming across a bit darker on camera, I feel, than it is in real life. In real life, it's much more of like a close match to the garment I'm trying to emulate, which is nice. But so evidently, Taylor's polo is not 2x2 rib. And, you know, I can shorten the sleeves, like down to here, instead of making it a long sleeve. And it's also a drop shoulder, so that's perfect. But it irks me that everything can be exactly the same. I can knit the shoulders shorter, I can have the drop shoulder, I can make the double knitted polo collar, but I won't have the exact stitch pattern. So I started making a gauge swatch where I tried out different stitch patterns. Wait, it's the other way around. So at the bottom, I did 3 stitches. So I wanted a 4-stitch repeat because 2x2 rib is a 4-stitch repeat, and then I wouldn't have to do too much maths in my head. I started off with 3 stitches in garter and then 1 knit stitch. I didn't think that was exactly right, so then I tried 2 stitches in garter and 2 knit stitches. Thought that was even worse, and then I thought, what if I slip the 1 knit stitch that I have here at the bottom? So then I had 3 garter stitches and 1 slip stitch, and I feel like it matches it very, very well, and especially if you like stretch it a little bit, like if I'm going to be wearing it, it's going to appear a tiny bit see-through because of the garter, like Taylor's top does. Keep you posted on how that goes. This is one thing that I will for certain be finishing this spring because I want to wear it to the tour. For the Birkin Polo, the pattern has like optional decreases on the side, and I'm not entirely sure whether I want to do those yet or not. I might do them, and I might follow the instructions for making them even tighter fitting, or making the body even tighter fitting, because Taylor's top really does seem to have a lot of negative ease. Yeah, I'm excited for this, not just the Eras tour and the outfit to wear, but yeah, just the top itself and getting, like, I think it's gonna be nice to wear, like, to work or something, with the cute pair of trousers. I have, like, a blue pair of trousers that I think will be, like, a nice monochromatic moment. But that's it for the polo category. The next category is the camisoles, or the tank tops that I would like to start knitting to be able to wear in the summer. I have 2 yarns that fit in perfectly with my spring color palette, and these are both knitting for Olive. This one is cotton merino, and this one is in the merino quality. This is my absolute favorite summer yarn ever for a top, and this one is cotton, so it's a bit more breathable. Now the cotton merino is 70% organic cotton and 30% merino, which is the only thing I don't like about this yarn. I would like the merino percentage to be a little bit higher, like this one. So the gepard cotton wool is 50% wool and 50% cotton, which I think is a perfect combination. Like, it will keep the stretch, I think, sufficiently to make this a nice negative ease garment, especially with the loss of the ribbing. I thought it would be necessary to have at least 50% wool in my garment, so I couldn't get a fully plant fiber. But I needed some plant fiber in there, so I couldn't go full merino because it's going to be peak summer and it could be like a heat wave or something, and then I won't be wanting to wear a full merino polo. So this seemed like the perfect option. Now, so this has like 70% and the other one, this one has 50%, and you know, fabric wise, I think I'm going to prefer this one a lot because I used this yarn in the soft blue colorway to knit Garnogslikt's square neck cami last year, and the ribbing is just a bit off and it's a bit floppy and uneven because of the cotton. I'm not the best knitter when it comes to cotton. I don't enjoy it too much. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I do want to try it out again for a non-ribbing cami. So I think I'm going to re-knit the cami number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, because that's an all stockinette cami. And you know, I really wanted to try out this colorway. I think it's, for me, this is the perfect colorway. It's a grayish purplish hue. It's perfect. It's almost got this like silvery shine to it. It's just beautiful. And they only have this color, the lilla elephant, or purple elephant, in the cotton merino quality. So, you know, I'm giving it another chance because of this beautiful color, and we'll see what that gives. This one, the merino, is in Dusty Aqua, and I'm not entirely sure yet which cami I would like to knit with this. I have 3 balls of this because that's what I need for the cami number 9, but only 2 of this because that's what I need generally for like a strappy top or like a high halter neckish top. So it's going to be one of those types. But I was thinking like a cami number 7 would be cute. Another square neck camisole would be cute, but I already have like a bluish one, so maybe not. Maybe a twist loop top by Other Loops, but I think because that's also like strong ribbing and it has a cable, I'd need another ball of this, so I don't think I'd have enough. Yeah, maybe like a broken rib, like spaghetti strap cami with this yarn would just be chef's kiss. Yeah. I know I'm not gonna get through all of these things, right? You know, but a girl can dream. So, my season non-conforming plans. The first one, oh, I think every category has 2 knits. That's actually pretty neat. I did not plan for this. So the first thing I would like to knit is something using my gepard garn woolia. I have 9 cakes of this, and this is a 100% merino. I think it's an Aran weight. Yes, 100% organic merino wool. They say you can use it with like a 3.5 to a 6mm needle, which is curious. But if you see how squishy this ply is, it's not so curious at all anymore. It's a very dark colorway for me, but it was just screaming my name because it's like, it's an anthracite. It's a dark gray, but it has this purplish dark blue undertone, and it's looking very, very dark here, but in real life, when like direct lights hitting it, it looks a lot lighter, and it's just absolutely beautiful. You're gonna have to take my word for it. And I want to use this to knit the chunky Mouliné cardigan by Lena Holm Samse, or Le Knit, I think she goes by. Yeah, just a dark blue anthracite-ish cardigan that's chunky and cute. Would just be a staple in my wardrobe. I need one of those. It's not very much more to talk about that, but or to say about that, but the yarn, it's light and squishy, so I think I can get away with knitting on this in the spring if I want to. Next thing I would like to knit up is also from the Sandnesgarn booklet, which is the Amy slipover, and I would like to use some Drops Flora that I have lying around in the color 05. I think it's a dark gray melange type color. And this is a fingering weight, 65% wool and 35% alpaca yarn that I want to hold with a soft silk mohair by Knitting for Olive, my favorite, in the slate gray colorway. The slate gray is looking a bit more black than the Drops Flora is. I think this is leaning a bit more neutral in tone than this guy. This is very cool. But I'm hoping together it'll be like a cool neutral blend and not be too dark for me, because I'm not good with black or very dark colors. but I'm hoping like this will give an anthracite dark gray vibe and suit me really well, especially because it's going to be so high up, because the Amy slipover is a slipover with a turtleneck, which is what makes it so inappropriate for the season, because slipovers usually are very appropriate for spring. But what makes it special is that it has like this ribbing on the side that then goes into long strings with which you tie the slipover together on both ends. So you knit like two flaps essentially that you connect with these beautiful ties, and then it has a turtleneck. So I do think I could wear this in spring or on like cooler days in spring over a dress or something, or over a t-shirt, but evidently this is knit on like I think 3.5mm needles or a 4mm, so I don't think it's gonna knit up that quickly, especially with the long ribbing fringe thingy that you need to knit. So I'm quite sure I won't be able to wear this spring if I finish it, but it would be nice to start on it so that I can wear it by the fall, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. Those last two options are just very wintry or fally, but because I did so much gift knitting in the winter, I really didn't get to do all of my winter and fall plans, and I'm feeling so excited for spring, but also feel like this need to knit these fall thingies as well, or just, I don't know, like as much as I love spring, I adore fall and winter garments, so I'm just allowing myself to do whatever I like. Now if you want to see my little color palette, I'm only going to show you like the spring appropriate stuff, right? I think you're going to agree with me that it all goes together quite nicely. Ah, it's falling. So I have like some pink, ooh, chaos. I have like some blues, some green, some purple, and some pink, and it's all like, it's a bit dusty and then a bit light. Oh, now you see the colors. Ta-da! My spring knitting palette. Yeah, it's pretty. I'm excited. I'm also excited to hear what you guys think and whether you are planning on knitting anything similar, or how you view the whole spring versus summer type situation. Maybe you even have a favorite among the things that I'm planning on making, or you just want to call me out for being crazy for having so many plans for just a few months of knitting when I actually have a wrist injury. I had to buy like wrist braces and quit knitting for like a week or two at least, which is also part of the reason why I haven't uploaded a video in so long, because like I didn't want to get myself too excited for spring knitting anymore, because I didn't know when I was going to get to start spring knitting, because the storm sweater from my cousin really just messed up my wrist. It's so long, it's so much of the same thing, and do your stretches, people, and switch out different projects on different needle sizes. Don't be stupid like I was. Don't risk your wrists. Thank you. Thanks for listening to me yap about my knitting. I hope you were thoroughly entertained, and I'm excited to talk to you guys again soon. Have a nice rest of your day, and happy knitting. Bye.